friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca, and today we're talking about how to shoot light and airy photos. This is a really popular style to be shooting with, but if you get a few things wrong, then it can be really hard to master. So today I'm going to give you 3 keys to shooting light and airy every single time. That's just going to take your work from okay to amazing and stunning light and airy photos. Now, before we get too far, don't forget to subscribe and like this video and hit that little notification button so that you get notified every time we have a new video every single week. The first key is your background choice. Your background choice, surprisingly, makes the biggest difference in a light and airy photo out of everything. You want to avoid things like thick greenery and shrubs and trees and things like that in the background of your photos when you're getting that light and airy style. The more light you can allow into your photos, the better it's going to be because it's going to feel lighter, right? If you have things like thick greenery in the background, light can't come through, so it's not going to feel airy, it's going to feel really heavy. So your background choice is really, really key. Things that I look for in a light and airy background are, open spaces where lots of light is able to come into my camera. If there's a spot that has a big open space and trees in the back, like super back part of it, then that's fine. But I'm not ever going to position my subjects right in front of trees or thick greenery because I'm just not going to achieve that light and airy style that I'm going for. There are a lot of photographers that I talk to that really, if they make one little tweak with their background, it makes all the difference. There was a girl that I was talking to. She was taking photos in her neighborhood and she stopped and there's, this thick greenery patch that she's like, oh, this will make great photos. And it did, but she was wanting a light and airy style and she wasn't able to achieve that. I told her that instead of positioning her clients back to the greenery, maybe put them to the side so that their shoulders are to the greenery, but they have open space behind them. That one little tweak immediately changed the whole feel of their photos because it wasn't so heavy and dark. All of a sudden, there was all this light allowed into their image. So background choice makes a huge difference. The second thing that you want to keep in mind when you're trying to achieve that light and airy style is to time your session right. Now, here's an unpopular opinion. I actually don't like shooting in golden hour. And if you're not familiar, golden hour is that last hour of light before sunset. For me, golden hour is very orange, and that doesn't really play well into the light and airy style. So I actually prefer to shoot 2 hours before sunset. So we stop shooting about an hour before sunset so that we avoid all those orangey colors that come with the sun. Golden hour has its perks, but there's only about 15 minutes of like really, really pretty light that I like. And so instead, I time it so that the sun is low enough because it's 2 hours before sunset. The sun is low enough that I can put it behind my clients, that it won't be, right overhead and casting ugly shadows. I can put it behind my clients, but it's still not casting that like orangey glow on my client. Another thing to think about is avoid shooting in midday because of those harsh lights and look for open shade. Open shade is my best friend because it allows me to shoot at any time of the day. So what open shade is, it's a large area where maybe a building or a big tree or something is casting a large area of shade so that my client can be fully shaded, but we still have beautiful light around them. Now, the third thing that I want you to pay attention to when you're shooting light and airy photos is to expose for your subject and not for your background. Now, this one may, rub people the wrong way a little bit, but here's the deal. Light and airy photos oftentimes have blown out skies, and you'll have some photographers that'll tell you that it's absolutely wrong to have blown out skies, and that's improper shooting. Here's what I know. I'm exposing for my clients, and so I want them to have even light all over their body and even light in the background, and if that light is exposed and the sky is blown out, I'm okay with that because the sky isn't my subject, my people are my subject. And so I'm going to expose for my people. Now, one way that I do that is with an Expo Disc. It's a tool that I use that it's a little circle. I should have one here with me, but I don't. It's a little circle and it helps me to set my white balance and my exposure so that I'm exposing for my subjects. And so I actually have a whole video on my blog of how to use an Expo Disc. So if you head to my blog, I'll link it below. You can understand how to do the white balance balance in the metering. But because I shoot subject-centered photography, I want everything to revolve around my subject. So if my subject is exposed correctly and the background is a little blown out, I'm okay with that because I want them to be, the center of attention. Now from there, you're able to go into editing, which editing is just the icing on the cake, because here's a secret: light and airy photos happen in camera. Editing is just the icing, because of course you still want to edit them, but if you don't get it right in camera, you're really going to struggle in editing because you're just not going to achieve that light and airy style that you're going for. So once you get it right in camera with the 3 steps that we just talked about, then we can take it into Lightroom and edit. I have a preset that I like to use. It's my light and airy preset, and it sets some certain settings for you that gets you started on the right foot, that it's great, and it separates itself from other light and airy presets, because a lot of presets change the colors where, it may get light and airy, but then your colors don't look true. And I really pride myself that my preset keeps colors true while creating that light and airy feel. And so if you want to check out that preset, it's linked below in the description here. You can go check that out. It's super inexpensive compared to most presets, and it's an easy one-click preset. So you literally apply it and then adjust your exposure as needed, and that's it. Maybe your white balance if you didn't get it right in camera. Anyways, that is like the icing on the cake is your editing, and putting all those pieces together, getting it right in camera, getting those editing settings the way that you want them. It just creates a beautiful finished product that makes all the difference in your style. And so I hope this helps for, getting those light and airy photos. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check out my light and airy preset if you want to be able to add that beautiful icing on the cake to your already beautiful light and airy images. See ya.